Good morning, everyone. I wanted to start Monday's lesson by going over some general class rules and procedures for our online class. So the first is all tests are open book. Pretty much everything is open book in this class, which should be something you really like. And second bullet point, you are on your honor not to work with another student on a test. So please be careful with that, and don't ask parents for help on a test either. You're taking it just as if you were in the classroom. You may also go back and watch a previous instructional video when taking a test. That's okay with me, all right? So as long as you don't ask someone else to help you do the problem. And then your test is due at 9 p.m. on the day it's assigned. So this week we're going to have a test on Thursday, and you'll have to have that test completed by 9 p.m. We'll talk about how we're going to take tests on Thursday morning. Test grades will be recorded in a special location online called My Math Assistant. Okay, mymathassistant.com is allowing us to use their program during the current situation, which has been wonderful help to me, and I think you'll like it too. So test grades are going to be recorded at this particular website, mymathassistant.com, by 9 p.m. So that's when the test is due. That's when all your answers have to be put onto My Math Assistant. We'll talk about that more Thursday. Now, let's go on to the next page. Homework is due at 9 a.m., the day after the test is taught. So it's different. The test is due the day of at 9 p.m. Homework will be due the next morning. Okay, after I teach the lesson, and you'll have to do two things. You're going to have to scan it or take a picture of it and upload it to LMS in the appropriate lesson assignment tab. And then you're also going to have to go to My Math Assistant, the same web page as you're going to use for your tests, and record your homework grades. You're going to enter them in on the day after the lesson is taught, 9 a.m. Remember, 9 a.m. the next day is the cutoff for homework. 9 p.m. the day of is the cutoff for tests. And then every day except test day, you're going to have a daily Khan Academy quiz. These will replace our Power Up and New Concept quizzes. Yes, no more Power Ups, no more New Concept quizzes. So that's going to replace it. Now, some of you did not complete the Khan Academy quizzes or problem sets, the 4 that were due on Sunday evening. So I am going to extend that until Monday evening at midnight. So if you've already done those first 4, that is great. If you haven't, you must get them done by Monday evening, okay? So you don't want to start off with a low quiz grade. You want to go ahead and get those 4 done. And I've got a tutorial on Khan Academy. You can go to your class resources if you're having trouble understanding where to go to find those assignments or how that works. I've got a tutorial for that. Okay, starting this Tuesday, March 31st, I'm going to have a daily optional Zoom meeting to help students with homework problems. This meeting will be posted on the class wall every morning. I send an email out to your parents about signing up for Zoom, and you really don't have to even have an account. You'll just have to use the URL address that I post on the class wall and enter that in your browser, and you can go ahead and join a meeting. When are the meetings going to be? Well, the meeting is going to be, 7A, 1 p.m. every afternoon, 7B, 2 p.m. every afternoon. This will last about 30 minutes. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. If you're having trouble with the homework for that day on any problems, it's going to be just like class time. You let me know what problems you need help with, and I will be there at 1 and 2 o'clock to help you. Okay? Okay, now that we've gone over our general guidelines, I want to go ahead and teach our lesson for today. So let's all turn to page 633 and get out your homework paper All right, if you should have picked up a packet of homework papers last Wednesday, I had those outside my classroom door. And if you did not get a packet, that's okay. You can use a plain piece of computer paper. Please use plain. I just don't want all the lines from ruled paper. It's hard for me to see the steps. And so I would really appreciate if you give me plain paper, if you can make it neat. Also, in the resources section of our class in RenWeb in LMS, you will find a PDF and you can print off a homework sheet if you'd like to. Okay, so we're going to start with lesson 91 on page 631, and it is evaluations with positive and negative numbers. And this is not a real bad lesson. So it's a great one to start off with since we're trying to get used to everything and there's a lot to process. Now, here we have an algebraic expression, x plus xy minus y. And we know that xy means x times y. And evaluate means we're going to give specific numerical values for these variables. And the values are right here. X is going to be 3, y is going to be negative 2. So the first step is to write down the original expression. The next step is going to be replacing every variable with open parentheses. So let's go ahead and take the x and make it an open parenthesis. I'm going to copy the plus sign. XY is just going to be two parentheses touching each other, and then I've got a minus and then a parenthesis there. I'm kind of running into this. Sorry about that. Let me do that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and fill in the parentheses with the appropriate values. X is 3, so I'm going to put a 3 here and here. Y is negative 2, so I'm going to be careful to plug in the correct value in each of these parentheses. Now, let's go ahead and use our order of operations. The first thing we're going to do is multiply. And I see these two numbers right next to each other with parentheses indicating multiplication. So we copy down the first 3 and just let it stay the same. We're going to keep our plus sign here for now. We're not adding or subtracting right now. But 3 times negative 2, a positive times a negative, is a negative 6. Now I have a minus, and then I have a minus 2. Okay, so now all we have is addition and subtraction. So let's do that. But what do we not want to have here? We do not want to have a subtraction sign. And so I'm going to take my positive 3. I want to add. That's good. And so I'm going to leave that there. But I do not want to have a subtraction here. So I'm going to change that to adding the opposite of negative 2. Subtracting a negative 2 means adding a positive 2. So remember, minus minus becomes plus plus. Okay, now I have all addition. Let's combine forces. So we've got a positive 3 and a positive 2 becomes, I'm just going to put that down, a positive 5. And then I've got my negative number, negative 6. So what is my final sum here? Well, I have opposite signs, so it's a tug of war. Okay, which team is going to win? The negative team has more players. So the answer is negative. A positive 5 plus a negative 6 is a negative 1 because the negative team has one extra player. Okay, remember when signs are opposite, we're going to subtract. And the larger number 6 here means that it stays negative. Okay, now let's try one more over here. And this is going to be one that I chose just because there's a negative sign here, and that can be a little bit confusing. So let's go ahead first and write our original problem. And then we're going to have the negative of m. M is going to become an open parenthesis, plus my open parenthesis, minus parenthesis, parenthesis. Once again, I'm squishing that too close. Okay, now let's fill in our m. M is negative 2. M is negative 2. Careful where you plug it in. N is another negative number, negative 5 and negative 5. I'm sorry about the glare here. We're in my sunroom, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and I borrowed this whiteboard from my church Sunday school class. And it's got a lot of sheen to it. So you can see the computer right here. See that? So anyway, I hope this is clear enough for you. Okay, so let's look what we have next. I'm going to go ahead, while I'm looking at this, what is the negative of -2? Or the opposite of -2? Well, it's a +2, isn't it? So I'm going to make that a +2 plus a -5. And I'm going to leave that subtraction sign there for right now. I have -2 times -5 is +10. A negative times a negative is a positive. A negative plus a negative is a negative. It's kind of confusing, isn't it? All right, so we've got one more thing to fix here before we start combining forces. And that is we have a subtraction sign here. So I'm going to copy down my +2 plus my -5 and change subtracting a positive to adding a -10. Okay. Remember, subtracting a positive is adding a negative. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. Okay, now finally, let's combine forces. Okay, I only have one positive term, +2, and then I'm going to add my two negative numbers together. -5 and -10 is -15. All right, I owe you $5 and I owe you $10 more. I owe you $15. Now I'm adding a positive and a negative number. Tug of war. Okay, the negative team wins. They have 13 extra players. And there is my answer to the second practice problem. Now we're going to go ahead and look at our textbook, and let's turn to page 633. Number 11 is our new concept. Now look at this. I've got 2 boards in one. I love it. Okay, now let's look at number 11. You know what I didn't put down here? I didn't put what the values were. X is -3. I'm going to put that up here so we can get away. X is -3. And what do we have here? Y is equal to -2. So those are the values I'm going to plug in after I write my original problem down. So you should have your worksheet right now, your homework sheet, and you should have it turned to page 2, number 11. So write down your original problem here with variables, and underneath it, remember what we do? Change every variable to a parenthesis. So let's change X to this pair of parentheses, and then we'll put a minus sign, another pair for Y, and then subtract, and then another pair right next to each other for XY, indicating multiplication. So now let's plug in our X value of -3, and there's another -3 here. I've got a -2 here and a -2 here. Okay, now let's go ahead and multiply first. I'm going to go ahead and leave this, of course, -3 is just going to hang out right there. I'm going to leave my subtracting -2 alone for right now. If you want to change that, you can, but I'm just going to wait. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to subtract, and -3 times -2 is +6. Okay, so now I have my 3 integers in parentheses, but I have 2 subtraction signs, which I do not want. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to leave -3 alone. It is not going to be changed whatsoever, but I have subtracting a negative. Subtracting a negative means adding the opposite or adding a positive. Minus minus becomes plus plus. Okay, now I'm going to subtract a +6. What does that mean? I'm going to add the opposite. Subtracting a positive means adding a negative. Okay, we've made a lot of headway here. Now your next step should be combining forces, because we have addition signs and we're just going to combine our integers of equal sign. Now, +2, I always like to start with the positive. I don't know why, just a habit I have. But let's combine the two negatives. -3 and -6 is -9. Okay, here we are again. Two integers with opposite signs, tug of war. We're going to see that the negative team is going to win. -9 plus +2 is a -7. -7. Negative team wins. They have 7 extra players. Okay, so that is our new concept for today. And let me then walk you through what you have to do this Monday, today, in order to complete your math work. First of all, you want to finish doing this homework set on your paper worksheet. Then you're going to go to mymathassistant.com and enter in your answers from your worksheet by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I would recommend doing it on Monday, but I'm going to give you until 9 a.m. the next morning, because that's what we do. We come to school and we grade our homework. And so you're going to be grading the homework by entering it in to this website instead, okay? At 9 a.m., I am going to go in to mymathassistant.com and write down your score, okay? If you have not entered it in, I'll probably contact you and see what's going on, because this is all new. But every day, 9 a.m., the following day after the lecture, it has to be entered into mymathassistant.com. You have to go to the YouTube link that I've put on this lesson right under this video in order to understand how this works, okay? And so I've got guidelines for you to see how to log in and how to get to lesson 91 and how to enter in your answers. So it's critical for you to go to that YouTube video. That link is right there, right underneath this lecture. You can't miss it. Okay, number 3, take a picture of the worksheet, of your paper worksheet that you've done, and upload it to LMS. I have got to see your work. And there's some problems that you can enter in to mymathassistant.com. For example, if they tell you to draw an angle, okay, or draw a rectangular prism, you can't enter that in. And so there's certain things I'm going to have to see. Plus, I want to see that you have done the work and not just put the answers in without showing the work, okay? So to get a grade, I'm going to have to see answers in here, and then I need to see your work, just like turning in your homework to me every day in school. And finally, you're going to do the Khan Academy quiz of the day. Okay, and so I've also got a Khan Academy video that's in the resources tab if you've been having trouble with that. I'm making the Khan Academy quiz for Monday an extension of what was assigned last Friday, because some of you have not done it yet. And I know we're just all getting used to it, so I'm going to give you an extra day of grace to get that done. Okay, so if you've already done those 4, that's great. You don't have any Khan Academy quiz to do today, all right? So that's it. Get working. Starting tomorrow, we will have a Zoom meeting at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. 1 p.m. for 7A and 2 p.m. for 7B, and I will be able to help you with your questions that you have on your problem set starting tomorrow. Unfortunately, I can't do it today because Mr. Bundy said we're going to start Zoom meetings tomorrow. I sent an email to your parents about it. I bet some of your families are already Zooming with other people during this time of social distancing. But I hope that it's going to work well and be a great tool for us. I will put the invitation to the Zoom meeting on the class wall every morning, so you will know what URL address to enter into your browser to join the meeting, okay? And it's purely optional. If you're doing great and don't need any help, you do not have to join the meeting, okay? Or you can, if you've got a real quick question, you can just chat with me on LMS or post something to the class wall. I hope you have a blessed day today and enjoy being with your family, and I sure do miss you guys. This is no fun. I miss your faces so much. So until tomorrow, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.